In today's video, we're going to be making one of my best-selling products, and that is charcuterie boards. This is a lot of fun. Let's get started. First step in the process, once you have your lumber selected, here I'm using black walnut, is just to cut up the boards to make the blank. Now, I'm using a jig here that basically gives me a square edge because this particular piece of black walnut was live edge, and I actually have a video on the channel about how I made this jig and how it works. If you're interested in checking that out, I'll link it down in the description. But yeah, once I have this cut up, I'm going to go ahead and cut up my maple as well, and then we can design the look of this charcuterie board blank. Now, this is one of the reasons I love making charcuterie boards. I think it's one of the reasons that they sell very well, is that in a lot of ways, there's no right or wrong way to do it in the sense of design. You know, I have right here this blank. It's not glued up yet, but you could make this a blank with a wider strip of maple. You could have not even cut this like I did at the very beginning of the video. Let this just be one board, and that could be your charcuterie board blank. You could take this thin strip if you like that look better and kind of fit that in there. I think this is what I'm going to do. I think I like the thin maple. I think, once again, no right or wrong. To me, that just looks, I don't know, a little bit better. I'm not super concerned about the size of this. This is about 9.5 inches right now and about 2 feet long. So yeah, let's go ahead and glue this up. Get this in clamps. For any kind of cutting board, charcuterie board, anything that's going to be in contact not only with food but also with water, like when it's getting washed off, I recommend getting the Titebond 3 wood glue. I've never had a single joint fail on me when I've used Titebond 3, and it's waterproof, so I highly recommend this. Link is down in the description. You can probably see right now where all this glue is coming out in between the joints of the board, and this is a good thing. This is called squeeze out, and you want to make sure you actually can see squeeze out all the way along each one of those joints, because after you plane this down, those joints are going to be really, really tight. If you don't have squeeze out after you plane this, you might have some little tiny gaps in between these joints, which you don't want that, especially for a charcuterie board, because stuff can get trapped down there. So one thing that will drive me and also customers that you're selling these charcuterie boards to, one thing that drives us crazy is if you have a charcuterie board that's sitting on a counter and it's wobbling around, right? So after you've run this through the planer, you want to make sure that both sides, check this on a flat surface like on your table saw, go to opposite corners and make sure that there's no wobble or rock. You should also just feel when you pick up this charcuterie board, like, you can just tell it's perfectly flat. There's no rock or wobble or anything like that in this charcuterie board. So now we're ready to cut out the design for this board. This is where it really gets fun. So from my experience, there's two factors when it comes to how well a charcuterie board will sell. And that is, one, the quality of the finish, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. But the second factor, in my opinion, is the design of the charcuterie board. That means the thickness of it, how big it is, how the handle is shaped, the character of the wood and the glue up, all those kind of things. And so this is a really important step where you want to take your time, but also be creative, because my goal, for me personally with my charcuterie boards, is I don't want a single two charcuterie boards to be alike that come out of my woodworking shop. So I just think people like that. I think they like that custom look. So here's what I'm kind of thinking. I'm just going to kind of walk y'all through my process and play around with some different stuff. There's a little check down here, a little crack in the black walnut. So I think I'm going to make this side where I really kind of carve out my handle so I can get rid of this anyways, because otherwise I'm going to have to cut all this off, which would be a major waste. I think I don't know. I think I'm going to let this be like kind of squared off down here. I'm just going to start playing around with stuff. I have a pencil. I also have something that's circular so I can draw circles. This is a very scientific approach. I really take my time here, sneaking up on the pencil line without going over it. So I do this in multiple passes on my bandsaw, just to be extra safe. wipe this board down with a wet rag. And what this is gonna do is the water is gonna get into the fibers of this board and it's gonna raise the grain. Then we're gonna come back and do our final sanding and pop that grain. If you don't do this, you're gonna sand this board down, you're gonna put the finish on it, it's gonna feel really nice and smooth when you go to sell it. But then the first time your customer washes this board, water gets into the fibers of this wood, and it's gonna feel rough. It's not gonna feel good anymore. It's not gonna feel smooth. If you wet the fibers, then sand it again, it's gonna always have that great feel. So super important step. Don't skip this step. I've done it before and I've always regretted it. For the finish on this charcuterie board, I'm gonna use Odie's oil. This is my new favorite finish. It's food safe and it will leave your board with one coat feeling awesome. I only got this sanded down to 220 grit, so I didn't go crazy on the sanding. Just went 120, 180, 220. But once I put this on here, this board is gonna have an amazing finish that holds up well, even when food's being served on it. There is a kit that I'll link down in the description that has these like abrasive pads that you can kind of work the Odie's oil into the pad, and then just a little bit of Odie's oil goes a long way. You can buff it into this board. Let me show you how it works. The last step in the finishing process after the Odie's oil has been on this board for about 30 minutes is to take this cloth and then just kind of buff out the oil in some circular patterns right there. This cloth comes with the kit that's linked down in the description. It's really nice because it's not going to leave fibers on your charcuterie board like a lot of other cloths will. So there it is. That's your charcuterie board. It's food safe. It's ready to sell. I think I would sell this charcuterie board for, I'd say about $45. It's probably what I would sell it for. You're using premium materials, black walnut and maple. Always consider the time that you put into a charcuterie board. So, for this video, I just made this one by itself. I normally recommend batching charcuterie boards or cutting boards or anything like that you're going to sell at a show or sell online because it's much more efficient. You're not having to set up your sander just to do one charcuterie board. You're setting up your sander to do 10. So that kind of brings your time per board down. But anyways, just making this from start to finish, just one board. I think I have maybe 2 hours. I don't know, maybe an hour and a half in this board. So let's say I'm valuing my time at $20 an hour. That's $40 right there plus materials. I buy this wood pretty cheap, and also, I don't know, I'm valuing my time at a little bit less since I wasn't batching, if that makes sense. So all that to say, if I were you, or what I'm going to do actually when I go to a show in a few weeks, is I'm going to sell this board for $45, and I think it will sell pretty quickly. Hey, if you have any questions about how I made this board or how I make other charcuterie boards, anything that wasn't clear in the video, let me know down in the comments. I do my best to answer as many of those as I possibly can, and I love talking with you guys down in the comments. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, you'll love one of these two videos, so check out one of these, and I'll see you there.